Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Bricks King podcast, where I'm going to bend your ear about Lego, review those amazing bricks of plastic, and discuss what is new and up and coming around the Lego world. I'm your Minifigure host, Matt. Let's bet on it. Welcome in, everybody. How are we doing today to the lovely episode that we have in store for you? I teased it already. I teased it more than once, and today we are talking with the one and only Brickhuntress, Miss Kate Hunter, about Lego things, about things that unfortunately at this point in time are a little bit late, but there was an insider detail at that point in time. But if you had an opportunity to see her at Bricks Cascade and see her awesome mosaic that she had with TK Bricks, it was incredible to be able to see images from it. And I got a sneak peek. So boop, boop on you. I was like one of the first people. Yep. All right. Anyway, with that in mind, she will be attending other shows. She will be coming to Brick Rodeo here in Texas, which she informed me of, and I'm excited. That's going to be awesome. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this show because there's some good stuff in here talking about Lego and about mental health in general. All right, Kate, welcome back. I haven't talked to you in forever, and we were just talking about this, but it's been since, June of 2021, and a lot has happened since then, obviously. And I asked you to come back, and you did finally. I was like badgering you. I was like, let's go. Let's get at this. But we've got a couple things that I want to talk about. Obviously, one of those where you are now. What are you working on? And then also we're going to discuss some mental health stuff. You are a counselor. Is that the correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm a licensed school and mental health counselor for ages kindergarten through college level.
That's a big
range.
A big range, a very large range. But yeah, I definitely want to do that because there is so much mental health tied to Lego, believe it or not. Those of you that are out there probably don't even realize, but it is definitely a thing. So let's talk about what you're doing first, because that seems like more, not fun, but I don't want to get into a dark road or anything yet. So what is going on with you? With building shows you've gone to, I've seen you've been to some shows out there in the Pacific Northwest more recently. So what's going on with you?
So since Brick Days last summer, where we met each other, which was awesome, I've been to a couple shows. I went to BrickCon up in Seattle in October of this last year, and which was great. I had never been to that one before. And it's so funny I say that because I've never been to any of them until now. Because my first show was Brickscade like 2 weeks before the pandemic, right? Like 3 years ago. So,
and then everything stopped.
So I think it's so funny when I always say that, like, oh, it's my first time going to that one. Well, yeah, obviously.
Of course.
Of course. So yes, first time going to BrickCon. It was really cool. There's a lot of great builders in the Pacific Northwest. So I was able to see some incredible builds, meet some new people, and meet some people that I've become friends with online. So to see them in quote unquote real life, right? And but it's never weird for me. Like some people find it odd, and some people think it's going to feel really uncomfortable. Like whenever I meet someone that I've known through like the online platform, it just feels like I've already known them. It's I can't explain it, but
it's true. You definitely get that feeling of, I already kind of know you. And now that I'm seeing your face, like, I already know you. We don't have to go through all the beginning stuff of like, hey, so no.
I'm Kate. My name is Kate. I'm from there.
Yeah, you just get to jump right in and, I mean, pick up where the relationship I mean,
Yeah.
basically is online. And the nice thing now is, I mean, you know, we're doing this through Zoom today, and there's so many different platforms. I mean, you guys do your Instagram stuff during the week and the live stuff. And it's great to have that because you're out in the western part of the country. I'm in the south central part. And it's great because, you know, when we do go to shows and we come across each other, it's like, well, I already know you. I already know what you look like. I didn't have to, you know, do this through email or whatnot. So you kind of get a feel for somebody, and it's great. It's a great way to stay connected.
And I think, you know, connecting it to mental health, I think it's a great social way of staying connected to people, because I think people and being social in some capacity is incredibly important to your mental health, to not be so isolated. So, you know, I'll get into that a little bit more later, but having these online platforms has actually been a blessing to a lot of people. And to me, I would have never met any of these people, right? Yeah. If it wasn't for those platforms. So yes, apps and, you know, social apps and what have you can have like the demons, you know, it can have the negative parts of it, of course, but I think, you know, 80% or more of it is always positive for me. Probably, I mean, for me, it's probably 90% or more. But I think there's way more pluses than cons in that area, especially right now. But yeah, so going to a lot of conventions. So BrickCon was incredible. Got to meet people like Kelly Bartlett and Eric Law and Dave Coletta and some other people. And I always find like new inspiration every time I go to them.
I'm sure. That's the way it always works.
Oh yeah. Like whenever I go, like the next week I have this kind of creativity, you know, overload almost, where I just kind of think of, you know, 5 or 6 new ideas that I want to do. It happens every time. Yeah. So yeah. And then, so that's where I came up with Iron Man. I was like, oh, I'm going to do Iron Man next. Like, I'm going to do this next. I'm going to do that next or whatever. So, and, you know, my Let's Build series helps with that too. But yeah, I think seeing people's mocks in real life and what they've created in the 3 years, you know, we've been isolated has been incredible. People have the time, you know, more time now to dedicate to those things. People have slowed down a little bit and realized that, you know, you have to take care of yourself before you can take care of others, which is also really important. So I think the focus on mental health has really come to the forefront of a lot of people's minds too, also.
And that's a great segue. And I think, like you said, there's social, if you want to consider it social media, like online presence, you know, videos and chatting and stuff through different apps and whatnot. It can have its drawbacks, but I think during that time where, I mean, Texas was in a different position. Texas was like, let's open up, you know, almost immediately. It's just different. But it was still nice to be able to have those meetings. Like our lug used to meet virtually for the longest time. Because we weren't able to, like, no place was open to physically allow us to go. So that was a great thing. And it just keeps everybody's spirits up, or kept spirits up. I don't know if some people are still going through it, but I know, you know, my mental health was definitely was tested, and I struggled mightily during probably the first, you know, it happened in March. What was it? March 2020, I think. Pretty much. That was. Yeah. So, you know, I'm used to being around 600 kids in a week, and I didn't have that anymore. And I was at home, and my wife was still going to work because she was an essential employee. And, you know, I'm at home and I have things to do. Yes. And I've got my podcast and I have that kind of stuff, and I can build Lego. But at some point you're not able to go anywhere. And it felt very like a sterile existence. And, you know, I struggled for a while. I actually ended up having to go to the doctor. I got diagnosed with depression at the time. And, you know, it was a struggle for a while. And finally, you know, I had gotten everything evened out. I got myself back to a great spot because, you know, one of those things is you don't have, like myself, when I do a recording, if I'm doing it by myself, I'm here. Yeah. And I'm in the mode, like I'm in that mode. I'm in the mood. I'm happy. And then you put it aside and those 2 hours, whatever, are gone. And then I was falling back into this cavern of hell, basically. And I didn't want to be around anybody. I just wasn't happy. I just wasn't myself. And then, you know, that's kind of where the online stuff has helped. And getting to see people. And then obviously when shows opened back up, it was amazing. It was that much greater because I had an opportunity to see everybody again or meet new people like yourself. But Lego definitely played a big role in that. I know not just for myself, maybe you and millions of others around the world, but that is one of the things that I think really kept a lot of people, for lack of a better term, sane and more in a healthier environment. I mean, it definitely helped with me. You know, I just kind of sunk myself back into it once I kind of realized, hey, you know, this is the way things are going to be for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, first, thank you for sharing all that, you know, and being open and vulnerable with everybody, because I think when we're able to do that, it allows other people to feel comfortable to do that too.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
That. I would agree. You know, I work in the schools too. And I think being around 1,200 plus high schoolers every day, all day, and I coach volleyball as well. So not being able to go to practice like we normally do, like that fell in there as well. And coaching is a big sense of self-care for me besides Lego. So like that season was horrific. Like you could not pay me enough money to go back and do that season again. Like there's no way. And I think it was just one of those times where we found what really worked for us, right? Like when it came down to it, what is it going to make us feel better in the long run? And, you know, what's going to make our kids feel better too.
As your daughter pops in the background, visual bit there. But yeah, I completely agree with you. She's definitely not one for the camera.
She normally is, which is so but I think for me, I would agree. Like I saw the changes in my own kids, like in my son specifically. And for myself, like I struggled with anxiety before COVID, and then I got myself into a good place, like you were saying. And then when COVID hit again, it was like, I knew that I could not let myself get back to that place because I knew like I could feel it coming. Like I could feel it coming at me. And so I was able to recognize that it was starting already. So I was able to kind of head that off before it happened. But if you hadn't had any experience with that before, then you would have had no idea that it was happening to you until it really did happen. So I think there's a little mixture of things that happen to people.
I got to open a minifig.
Like, bye.
That's all I wanted, and I'm gone. Yeah, completely. Yeah. I can't imagine. I mean, I went through my struggle, but I can't imagine. Like, it's hard to put yourself in that mindset of somebody else that is going through something like that. Whatever mental health disorder isn't the word that I really want to use here, but troubles that they were going through based on that period of time. Or may still be going on at this time. It's hard. I think it's really difficult for people to wrap their head around what it's like for somebody experiencing that for the first time if you've never gone through it. And I know I'm not the only one. I know there's millions of Americans out there. Another one. All of a sudden.
Lego for my kids has been a huge thing, big time. Definitely a huge thing. They love it. My daughter loves it for sure. Yay.
I got the alien.
Oh yes, the alien, the CMF alien. You know what? There is that kind of that exemplifies everything right there. To get that kind of joy, that is a true and honest reaction right there. Yes. I got the alien. Like, you can't make that cannot be rehearsed. And that's what Lego has been to a lot of people. And you had just mentioned about your kids. I know it was something my son and I had done during that period of time where, like, I can't go to school. We can't go here. We can't do the normal things that we do. We can go to the park and stuff like that. But our normal was not normal at that point.
Yeah.
So agreed. Lego was there.
And that's where I actually, I started my mosaic kits that I make was during COVID. And I've shared this story in other podcasts as well, because it's so pertinent to the mental health stuff. Yeah. And we had lived in a neighborhood with lots of kids. And so you would see like these kids just like walking by themselves, right? Because they can't be around other kids and they can't go to, play with them or whatever. So you're watching them like walk around by themselves outside. And it was just so heartbreaking to watch. And you can just see it on their face. Like each day, like these kids would look more and more sad or more and more, I wouldn't even say bored, because I don't think that was the case. I think it was sad, sadness. Because all these things have been stripped away from them so quickly. And for kids that are, 8, 9, 10 or younger, or any age really, like for something like that to happen and for things and people to be taken away from them without really like any real explanation, that is super tough for a kid's brain to compartmentalize, let alone an adult brain, which we all struggled. So I saw that and I was like, and my husband's a teacher at the same high school as myself. And we looked at each other and I was like, we have to do something like really fun. Like, this is terrible. I was like, this is terrible. We have to figure out a fun thing, for the kids to do in the neighborhood. Like, I don't know, like social distance, something. Like, we got to figure this out. So I had already started making the sets a little bit just for my own kids.
Okay.
And I was like, well, what if, we set up 6-foot tables outside on the lawn, we only have like 4 kids over at a time where they're super spread out. And then they can just do Lego and they can build these, sets together and whatever. And we started doing it just for Will and his like 2 or 3 friends in the neighborhood. And then their parents were like, oh my God, you should sell these. You should make these. Like, this has been incredible. Like, this has been the best thing ever for my kid. Da, 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 da. And so it just became this self-care situation for everybody. Because if the kids were starting to become happy, then the parents were happier and the parents were grateful and the kids were smiling again. And, I did it not to make money or start doing sets or anything like that. It was like purely for self-care reasons for my own kids and for the kids in our neighborhood and for everyone just to find some sort of like thing to tie us together, I guess. And that's what Lego does. It connects us together.
No pun intended. Connect us. No, I really like that story for 2 big reasons. One, you weren't looking at it as what can I do to make money. It was a pure, genuine, how can I help fix this situation that is going on? Put some happiness back into kids, especially that, like you said, have no idea why they are not able to play with their friends or do things with their friends. And then the other thing is, I mean, that kind of launched you even further into I guess now it's a business, but something that was just so genuinely filled in need, and now you've kind of ballooned it into your on the side business.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a huge deal. Just it was just the idea alone, and to be able to just make it fly, and seeing other parents be like, oh my God, you should do this because there it is. So that's really cool. That's really cool. I've always wondered where it came about, because I know you've done the kits, and I can't remember, you told me before back in June, and I don't remember how long you were doing them, but I know I never knew like specifically where it started or how it started. So it's like there's no other better way to start that story than that right there. So that's really cool.
Yeah. And that summer, Sisters is a small town, kind of like Western style town outside of Bend. And it's the only like bigger town on your way over the mountain to the valley, like Salem area. And so that's the main tourist route, right? So like cars go in and out. And even during COVID, like, I mean, people didn't really care, if I'm going to be honest, like they came in and out of Bend all the time. We're a tourist town, ski town. And so that summer we have a lot of teachers that live in Sisters because it's like 20 miles outside. And one in particular, like the husband owns the yogurt shop there, and they're like super into Lego, and like they were like, come set up your stuff outside of our store. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, come once a week or twice a week or whatever. Like people are coming in droves still, like you're gonna do well. And I was like, oh my gosh. So they let me set up tables and like my little pop tent or whatever right outside their yogurt shop. And they would do like little deals too. Like if you buy a set from Kate, then you get 50% off the yogurt or a free yogurt.
Oh, look at that.
Like they were so into it. It was so cute.
Yeah.
And, I did minifigs at that point too. And the kids love the minifig. I mean, who doesn't love minifigs? So I did minifigs as well. And it was just such a cool thing to like, and it was a perfect place to do that. It's like this cool little artsy like style town, and people who come through there, it's a big quilt area too. So like art is not like out of the realm, of normalcy out there. So it was like a perfect place to start doing that kind of stuff. And I did really well. And that summer, I probably sold over like 300 sets just in one summer. Yeah.
Holy moly. Lego and ice cream. I never thought about it.
I know.
They apparently go hand in hand.
It was right before the art sets came out.
Oh, okay. So see, you were ahead. So what Lego had their minions out there, and they were watching you, and they're like, oh, we could do this. We could do this. We could totally do this. I always wonder about that kind of thing. Like they'll never admit it, obviously, and it may never, ever be the case, but there are way too many coincidences. You go to shows and you see things and then 6 months later, a Lego product comes out and you're like, wait a minute. Mm-hmm. Where'd you get this idea? Who are you watching? So very cool.
It's all good. And I've heard, I'm loving that they're doing the art sets because I think that mosaic and art through Lego is incredibly therapeutic. It's just, I don't personally build one-to-one. I use all kind of different style bricks and sizes and pieces and whatnot. But people who do enjoy the art sets, I've asked them tons of questions, and I'm like, what do you like about it? And why do you do them? And they say that it's like so soothing and therapeutic for them because it's just laying one individual stud or tile at a time, and it's like almost soothing for them. Because having instructions, like, and I agree with that too. Like some days you just want to build a set, you don't want to have the creativity mind on or the switch on. You want to turn it off. You want to shelf all the other crap, right? That's going on. And
exactly.
You want someone to tell you what to do.
And that's what's so great, because they do put this here, put that there, put that there.
Yeah.
And there's not a whole lot of thinking that goes on, and it is therapeutic. And I love that is there. And then obviously they have the soundtracks that come with them now,
totally.
which you can learn information, or you can just kind of let it be background noise and just sink into your zone. And it's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I love the Harry Potter one.
So are we going to get some soundtracks with your mosaics in the future?
Oh my gosh, probably not.
Talking as you go through it, and then you hear like raw footage, and darn it, that is not what I wanted to do.
Right?
The struggle,
authentic.
Truly authentic. Do you want the experience or not of an artist? So you're the problem when I do. This is why I like just regular podcasts and not video. My ADD is overkill at the moment with the stuff in the back. I'm like, oh, look. Oh, what is that she's got hanging? Oh, that's kind of cool. So I want to ask, what is on the table behind you? And then we can kind of describe it, because right now I'm seeing a bunch of color, and I'm sure it's in progress, whatever it is.
So actually right here in front of me is one big panel that you're sitting on right now.
Okay.
And then behind me is the second panel. And so it's a 2-panel piece that I'm working on for Bricks Cascade in Portland, March, 10th through the 14th, which is coming up. So they're... You
don't have to tell. You don't have to
tell the size.
Oh, okay.
I won't tell you the theme or anything.
Yeah.
It is a collaboration. So something will be added to them from the other person. So it's going to be more of a 3D mosaic experience, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like a sculpture style thing is going to be added to the mosaics.
Okay.
And I'm doing that with Tim TK Bricks.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew that's what you were going to say. I was going to ask.
Yeah, we've been talking about it actually since then.
Awesome.
So we decided then we were going to do a collaboration, and then we were like, oh my God, Bricks Cascade is perfect. Let's do it.
There you go.
So, and it's a piece that I've had designed for a long time, which, like I said, it's pretty typical. I'll have like a bunch of designs done, and then I won't actually make them for like a year or two after I design them. So this one I designed right after Bricks Cascade 3 years ago.
Okay.
And so now it's like coming to fruition, right? So it's like, it's almost a therapeutic event in itself, because something that was that exciting then, and then you step away from it for a little bit, and then you either meet someone or you have an experience like that kind of sparks that creativity again. And again, it happened right after a convention. So
of course. All these ideas are just going crazy.
I was like, we got to do it. Yes, let's do this. But I'm excited about his part of the build, right? Because it's just going to be so different. It's going to be something that no one's seen before, if that makes sense. Like, I haven't seen it done. So yeah, we're excited.
There's somebody listening right now that's going to say, no, I already know it. I've already seen it done. Whatever.
What I'm doing.
So what I'm hearing is there's potentially another trophy on your way to adorn somewhere in your home for best sculpture, mosaic, concept, hybrid, whatever.
Maybe. I think for us, it was more, honestly, for us, we wanted to do a project together. Like, I would consider Tim probably one of my best friends in this life. And
he's a great dude.
He is. He's an incredible human being.
Yeah, he is.
I think for us, it was more just doing something together, a project together. And if that happens, that happens. But that wasn't really our focus. Like,
sure,
some people go to conventions set to like win, right? Or win a theme or whatever.
Got to be number one. Got to be number one.
For us, it was more like the process of it, or doing a project with someone. Like, this is my first project with somebody else. So and we're doing it virtually for the most part. And so I think that's an interesting experience too. I highly recommend it to other people to just try to build something with someone else. It's a completely different experience. It will teach you a lot about yourself and a lot about, your teamwork with others and whether or not you even like that or not. Some people do one collaboration, they're like, yeah, I'm done. Like, I'm good. I've done one. I know what it feels like now. And I know I'm good now. For me, like, I'm already doing another collab with someone else for Brick Slopes in Utah this summer. So this year for me was like more of collaboration, I guess. So less solo builds, more collaborative builds. It's
so much fun.
The volleyball thing, but I like teamwork. I like being part of a team. So to me, I like it, but I can see why others don't like it.
Some people are like, collab? I have to talk to somebody else? What is wrong with you?
Exactly. My way isn't the highway. What do you mean?
For those of you that are curious, the details for Bricks Cascade, it is March 12th and 13th this year at the Oregon Convention Center. Tickets are currently available to be bought, obviously, because it's less than a month away. So you can check Kate, Miss Brickhuntress, out there, and TK Bricks. Tim, I can't wait to see either an Instagram live or photos of this thing that you guys have cooking. I can't wait. I always find things like that just progress. I can't be there. It's like, I just want to see. I just like I can put myself there. Like, oh, that is cool. Oh, look at this. So yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. So those of you that are planning on going, make sure you go see Kate and say, "Let me see this amazing, awesome thing."
Yeah, come see me. Say hello.
Don't be shy.
Bracelets for everybody. That's my thing. So yes, do not be shy. Please come say hello. I love meeting new people, so definitely do that.
You're an easy person to talk to straight out of the gate. So I'm to letting everybody know straight out of the gate. You can walk right up to Kate and you can be best friends just like that.
True. What's different about this one too is that it's not going to be in the art category either.
Oh, now I'm really
so
wow.
It's in pop culture category. It's my first piece to not be in the art category, so that's also kind of exciting for me. Tim is entered in, Star Wars and other things, other categories before. So this isn't his first rodeo, but for me, it's like the first, it is still an art piece, but it's not going to be entered in the art section. So.
Stepping outside of your box.
Yeah. Exactly.
Outside the comfort zone. That's the only way you can get better is step outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah. You can't change without being challenged. And this one has challenged me. Big time.
Good.
And for the better. For the good. So it's going to have lights. It has some glow in the dark pieces. It will have like my signature hidden pieces you have to find. So that will be fun.
Very nice.
And each panel is 5 feet 10 inches wide.
5 feet 10 inches.
Yeah,
that's and there's 2 panels.
3 feet 4.5 inches tall, and they're gonna sit on top of each other.
Oh my god, I can't even imagine. The question is it done? Or are you still wrapping it up?
I'm still wrapping it up. Like I have to mount them now. I have to light them up still. I know how I'm going to light them up, but I still have to light them up. The bottom panel is pretty much completely finished. The one that my computer's
you're hiding.
The one behind me is almost done.
Oh, okay.
You can see it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know what that is, but
I'm not even gonna speculate. I'm just gonna wait like everybody else. I'm just gonna wait. So, well, I'm gonna wrap this up because you have been such a great guest, and Zoom hates people staying on longer than however long. I don't know. Anyway, So shout out your socials where people can find you, when they can find you, because I know you are definitely heavy in Instagram and I am horrible at it. So kick it off.
You guys can find me on Instagram, mostly at Brickhuntress. We're in the middle of a build series right now. So it's called Let's Build Digitally. So if you're a digital builder, definitely come by and check it out. The end of the series ends next weekend, so you have plenty of time to enter something if you want to. The one after that will happen after Bricks Cascade, and then we'll go into April with Let's Build Medieval. So we're going to do a castle theme coming up. I'm going to have different co-hosts throughout the year this time, which I've really liked. Again, collaborating a little bit more.
Of course.
Yeah. Every month I have a different theme, which you guys can build in, and you can either do a set, your own mock, custom minifigs. You can mod a set, small habitat, mosaic, whatever you want to make. It's kind of free reign. So it's open to everybody and anyone, kids, adults, doesn't matter. And it's just building community. That's the point. And building community and building that social connection with each other and self-care within the community as well, learning from others. And then I'll be at Bricks Cascade, like you said, March, and trying to get into YouTube a little bit more, maybe some Twitch. I'm not sure about that yet, but definitely a little bit more on YouTube. So probably will see me a little bit more on YouTube too.
Streaming is difficult.
Yeah, it is.
And then you have to keep the now most Lego streamers and stuff like that don't have the negative audience in there. You might come across one clown every once in a while, but and before we get out of here, you had mentioned to me off show about potentially showing up in my neck of the woods later this year at Brick Rodeo. I can only hope. Hope.
Yeah, that's my hope. I like to do one bigger one that's like away from the West Coast.
That's away. That's Austin is away.
It's the same, and I've never been. So, fun fact: I've been to all states except for 4. And Texas is one of those states.
Yeah.
So
let's go.
Love to check those off my list. And I hear Austin's an incredible town too. So it's definitely appealing, and I would love to experience that. It's no real farther than what I drove to Brick Days. So
that's right. I forgot you drove.
I'd bring my kids this time too. And we have friends along the way. So it would be a fun summer excursion. It's nice working in the schools. You have opportunities to do stuff like that. So,
like I'm off a few weeks. I can swing by and do a show. Yeah, let's go. Come on.
Show my kids the southern part of the country. I think would be really cool. So
Texas isn't South. Texas is Texas. Just so
Texas
we're clear. It's its own thing. There's a reason it takes like 15 hours to drive across the state.
True. Very true. And then Brick Slopes in Utah in August. So I'll be there too.
But obviously no snow on those slopes in August.
Hopefully. Hopefully. But awesome. Yeah.
But that's 3. I don't know anything about Brick Slopes. I know about Bricks Cascade, which is huge, and Brick Rodeo is huge. So sounds like you've got your hands full. You've got some busy stuff to deal with between now and then. I mean, next month alone to kick it off.
Next month alone will be busy.
It's convention season. I'm so excited.
It is. Yeah, it is.
So,
for sure.
Well, Kate, thank you for joining me in this conversation today. It's nice to hear what's going on in your world, and then also getting, how the mental health stuff. And I know I'm not the only one that struggles. I know there are millions of people out there, and there are millions that use Lego to cope as well. So it's definitely a plus. So thank you for coming on today. It was a great little chat.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just my advice to people is don't be afraid to reach out and ask for help, because you might make that connection that you never knew was there in the first place, but also you have to take care of yourself before you can take care of others. So
absolutely. Well, thanks again, Kate. Well, guys, that wraps up another episode and another great interview, this time with Brickhuntress. If you do not follow her on Instagram, make sure you do so. If you caught Monday's show where I was previewing and saying, hey, go watch April B's stream on Twitch, we definitely shouted out her Brickhuntress Instagram on there. She does her live show. I swear it's on Wednesdays, but I'm not 100% positive without looking. Really a lot of cool stuff over there, but hopefully we sent a lot of people that way during the stream that I did with April on Twitch. Anyway, with that in mind, I am going to be out of pocket for the next few days. As you are probably hearing this, I am already out of pocket, but we will be back with another episode next week. It is already in the queue, so do not worry your little pretty head off. We will be back. So until we meet again, you lovely people all over the globe, I'm your minifig host, Matt. Let's build on it.